Hello there, Virgo. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly tarot in-depth video forecast. This forecast is for the month of March, and the first part of this video is going to be looking at March the 1st through March the 15th, and then in the later part of the video, we're going to look at March the 15th through March the 31st. Those of you who are cross-watchers, you are welcome to be here and see what you can find out about the Virgo that you care about. However, what you do need to know about my channel is that energies are not reversible here. So whatever you're seeing, this is about Virgo and about their specific energies that they are dealing with. If you want to find a reading that talks about you and the energies you're going to be dealing with, then you want to check out your own sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or a combination thereof. All right, so Virgos, we do have your cards down. Let's start off by looking at your environment. Now, your environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. Usually it's home, but you do want to have kind of an open mind about where we could be talking about here. It does look like you're carrying a whole lot of the responsibility around your environment. And it looks like you are very proud of your environment. You're proud of what you've done with it and what it is. I like that. Very cool. You may even be signing a lease contract or signing a mortgage contract, taking over a mortgage. Whatever you're doing with that as far as responsibilities, I do think that you're very proud of what you've accomplished. Now, next thing I'm looking at talks to me about your subconscious leanings during this time frame, Virgo. It does look to me like you are spending more money than what you were planning on, and you're feeling a little bit of resentment about that, but you do have hopes of turning that situation around. And I think you're in your subconscious, what you're working on is how are you going to turn that situation around so that you don't have so much money coming out and you're starting to see some of the positives of what you have invested in. Whether your investment has been time, money, energy, effort, whatever it's been. Okay? So next up, Virgo, what we're looking at is your learning style and also your communication style. I do feel like there is a lot going on around you. This feels like especially at work for most of you. A few of you it might be home, but I'm going to say 97% I'm looking at work. And there's a lot going on around you at work, and so that's leading to some confusion. There may be some things where the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. And so there's definitely some confusion coming up at work whenever you're trying to figure out what's going on and what you're supposed to be doing. That may be a little bit difficult when we're looking at learning style. Next thing that I have coming up about learning style is that there is some information that is something that you're digging for, something that you're searching for. I do think that you're finding some of this during your research or possibly during your stalking. It wouldn't be the first time that's come up, but definitely during your research, whether this is above board research or kind of below board research, you are coming up with some of the truth. I think there's still a lot of mystery around this area that you're still looking for answers on. And then also, I do think that you are learning some things through astrology during this time frame. Yep, I think that's all I need to say there about astrology and through astrology. Now, next thing that I'm looking at talks to me about your communication style. I do think you're communicating very confidently about the ways in which that you want to move forward right now, especially as it pertains to work and career. I think also you're being very careful that you are telling the truth and only the truth. So some of you may be going to court, but some of you, that may just be the way you generally operate. But I feel like definitely right now you're being extra careful to make sure that that's what you're talking about. And I do think also there are some things that you know that you've been asked to keep secret. And I think that you're being very careful not to share those secrets with anybody who might happen to be around. Excuse me for that. What we're looking at next, Virgos, is we are looking at your work situation during the time frame from the 1st to the 14th of March. And what we have is there's some kind of confusion. You're having a hard time making some type of decision whenever it comes to work. And it looks to me like this is actually about a person at work. This could be a supervisor or a boss. This is somebody who has plenty of resources there. And I feel like this is kind of a star at work for some of you. So if you're working in an office where there are people that are, there's almost this competition of who can do the most, I feel like this is somebody who really is able to accomplish a lot and has a lot of recognition from work. And I think there's some kind of decision that you need to make that has to do with this person and with working either around this person or working with this person. And so there are decisions to be made, and I think you're sort of sitting on the fence there. Now, this would be a good thing to get a reading about if you're sitting on the fence about a decision about working with someone like that. To look at what would happen if you do work with them, what would happen if you don't work with them, that type of thing where we could really dig in and get the juicy details to help you make a decision like that in a more confident way with spirit perspective to help you. Looking next at that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded as you go through this particular time frame, it looks to me like you really have a lot of ambition, and you're feeling really good about the idea of taking care of business. As far as financially, you're feeling really good about the things that you're doing to bring in the income. You're also feeling good about the things that you're doing to improve your credit score, if that's something you're focused on, or to curb any kind of impulse spending. You're just feeling really good about what kind of actions you're taking around your budget right now. And it looks to me like you may be sort of coming at some kind of budgeting goal in kind of a sideways type of way. You may not be handling it head on, but you're doing little things to get you towards that goal. And I think you're actually enjoying seeing some of the progress there. The next thing that I'm looking at for you, Virgo, talks to me about something that you stand for. So this is going to be a situation that somebody either asks you to explain, or maybe they confront you about it, and you have a conversation about this situation with somebody. So we're going to look at what is this situation that we're talking about, and then we're going to look at how does this person view you around this situation after you've had this conversation. So first of all, the situation that I'm looking at here is that you have sort of cut somebody out of your life, or at least minimize the interactions that you're having with them, because it seems like every time you turn around, whatever it is that you're doing to create good, to manifest, and to add to the goodness in your life, that person seems to be like just wicking it away almost as soon as it shows up in your life. And so you have cut them out because you want to be serious about making some good progress in your life, some good progress forward. So you've cut this person out, and this is what somebody else is asking you about or confronting you about. It could even be this person. We'll kind of get an idea about whether it is or not when we look at their reaction to this conversation. It does look to me like whoever this person is, they see you as somebody who they have good memories with you. So you're somebody that they've known for a long time. And it looks to me like they're seeing you as somebody who really doesn't change. Like you're very steadfast in what your goals are, what your targets are, the actions that you take to get to your goals and your targets. And they're seeing you as somebody who's really busy, that you have a lot on your plate that you're trying to take care of. And so it looks to me like they're feeling like, this is typical you. This is just you taking care of business. So I don't really get anything where they're actually shocked by what you're doing or anything like that. To me, this whole situation just kind of makes sense to them, that would be a situation that you're in or that you're standing for. Excuse me just a moment. Sorry about the interruptions, Virgo. Let's look next, though, at your flex point. And this is going to be that point where you have a lesson or experience that changes your perspective, which is going to change your trajectory as you're moving through life. So let's look at the lesson or the experience that you're having, Virgo, is that you are interacting with somebody who is very outgoing, very independent, self-sufficient, somebody who likes to have fun, likes to make people laugh. And it looks to me like you are able to interact with this person in ways that you haven't been able to right now. And I think that even though you've had some disappointments around this person in the past, I think that as you're interacting with this person, you're looking at the opportunity that is here in front of you right now, and you are working with that opportunity that is in front of you at the moment. So to me, this smacks of some type of change of interactions or of relationship with this person whenever we have this release that shows up. Now, at the same time that this is going on, it looks like you are feeling pretty stressed out, and you're feeling like things are getting a little bit tight. Things are getting a little bit crunchy in life. You may feel like, my budget is not quite exactly where I want it to be right now. Or you may be feeling a little bit left out, like you're not a part of some group or some clique. And I think that this has you feeling a little bit discouraged and a little bit doubtful. So what else is happening here? Looks like all of this is propelling you to make a new decision about pursuing your own happiness. You're seeing where things haven't been equal, where there hasn't been an equal give and take in a situation, and you are starting new. You're starting over. So you could be taking this situation and you could be rewriting how this relationship is playing out, or how your interactions with this person are playing out. You're actually making this into a situation that is more equilateral, that is more even in exchange of energy. And this is a new thing for you. This is a beginning, just the beginning of moving forward. There also could be, I hadn't really seen it this way before, but it could be that maybe you're letting go of interactions with that person that I saw before, and you are allowing yourself to start interacting with other people where the relationship becomes more even in that case. So one way or the other, you're coming into a situation where you're making your interactions and your relationships more equal, so that you're not finding yourself depleted by these. You're finding that as you're putting in energy and effort, the other person is putting in energy and effort. And so you guys are actually encouraging and uplifting and helping each other out, both in a more equal and long-standing, I'm hearing, type of way. Now, once we get to the end of this time frame, Virgo, what we have coming up is that you are making some plans, some long-term plans. And I think that because of the breakdown, I think, yeah, definitely, this was about no longer working with this person and starting something new with somebody else. Because of the breakdown of that, I think you are making some long-term plans about how you're going to go about vetting those people that you collaborate with in the future. I think you are planning on finding out some more information, or some different information than what you did before you really make any solid footsteps forward with another person in the same type of collaboration that you were in with this person who we saw just a minute ago. Okay, so that wraps that up. Let me go ahead and get out of here, and then when I come back, we'll look at the rest of your month. See you in a second. Welcome back, Virgo. We are looking at March the 15th through the 31st this time. Taking a peek at what energies are moving through for you during that time frame. Let's see what comes up, shall we, Virgos? All right, my dears, cards are on the table. Let's take a peek at your environment right off the bat. First thing that I have coming up is that you're in a different environment for at least part of this time frame than what you usually are. And I think that you're feeling a little bit vulnerable in this environment. I don't think that it feels quite as safe to you as what your environment normally does. And I think that this could be having you feeling really emotional or insecure in the idea that this does not feel as safe as it usually does. And I feel like for some of you, this is safe, like physically safe. But for some of you, the environment can feel emotionally unsafe as well. And I'm thinking we've got about 50-50% here. And for some of you, just the fact that it's physically unsafe does make you feel emotionally unsafe as well, just because of the stress of that. But I feel like for some of you, it is only emotionally unsafe as far as how it feels. So not everybody's going to be physically unsafe. Not everybody's going to be feeling emotionally unsafe. But I think you guys are split up on that. There is this sense of being vulnerable that shows up. Looking next at your subconscious leanings. Okay. It looks to me like you're feeling really stumped about somebody or something. You thought that there was a situation that was over, that was something between you and between somebody else who has some narcissistic tendencies. And I think that this situation is over for now. I think where you're stumped is, how is this situation already over? I don't think you understand. I think this other person has called an end to a situation, and I don't think you really understand why. I don't think you feel like whatever happened is a justification for the situation to be ended. I think you feel like whatever happened is a justification for there to be some work put in to the interactions and to this situation. So I think that you're feeling a little bit stumped about why did this get completely shut down, that whatever this situation is between you and somebody who has some narcissistic tendencies. For those of you who haven't dealt with a narcissistic type of person before, a lot of times they like to go radio silent as a way of manipulation. That way, whenever they do come out and communicate again, then they feel like you're going to be more open and receptive to whatever it is they have to say because you will have missed them. So I think that, a lot of you Virgos, maybe you haven't dealt with a narcissistic person before, or maybe you didn't realize that this person had narcissistic tendencies, and that's why this has you stumped. I don't feel like this is really over with this person, though. I feel like it just feels that way right now, okay? So that's all in subconscious leaning. Subconsciously, you're just trying to figure that situation out. Now, the next thing that I'm looking at talks to me about two things. First of all, learning style, and then secondly, communication style. So learning style, I do feel like there are some things that you are wanting to find out about, to understand better. But there are certain parameters being put up so that you're only able to access a certain amount of information and learn a certain amount of information about this situation. And these are parameters being put up by somebody else. I do think that your intuition is firing on all cylinders, though. As you're learning, I think you're picking up a lot of intuitive hits. Pay attention to those. Don't discard those just because you don't have physical evidence. That intuition is really working well for you during this time. The other thing that comes up is I think that you are actually getting a lot of information from either a school or a library, someplace where you would formally get information. Excuse me, I'm going to cut out this video until this furnace is off, and then I'll come back. I'll see you in a moment. Sorry about that, Virgos. The next thing that we're looking at talks to me about communication style. And I think that you are communicating a lot, especially with a very specific person in this particular time frame. And I think that some of the things that you have to say could come across as very insulting, or could be very gruff or hard to hear. And I think that you are communicating this as delicately as you can, trying to save this person's feelings. I also feel like there is some communication going on where you're passing along information to somebody, and I think that that person is going to see that information as a gift. It's going to allow them to move forward in ways that they would not have been able to move forward before. And there's also a lot of talk about options that you have in your life, things that you could do to make your life better from where you are right now. Next thing that I'm looking at does talk to me about work for you Virgos, and it looks to me like you are stashing something back or holding something back right now. And I think you're doing this to manifest those things that you really want. And so it looks to me like this is sort of a strategic move where you're stashing something back until you've got enough resources together to actually create what it is that you're looking for. And I think that you're really enjoying this idea as you're watching those resources stack up. I think you're really enjoying the idea that it's not going to be that long before you can manifest what it is that you actually want. Now, next thing that we're looking at does talk to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded during this particular time frame. It does look like you are looking for a balance. For some of you, you're looking for sobriety. You're looking at handling life without giving in to addictions or temptations, and basically looking for overall healing. The thing that I see coming up here is that you're trying to do this based on just your own work by itself, and it's not working out as well as you would like for it to. This is going to be one of those situations where it takes other people's encouragement and uplifting to help you to actually find that balance. I think that you're making progress, but I think that it's only going so far and then it's falling flat during this time frame. So part of this situation where you're being grown and expanded is this whole idea that you're learning that maybe this is more than I can do on my own. I do need to ask for help here. And I think that's hard. I think that's rough on the ego. But if you want success, that's going to be the thing that's required. Now, next thing that we're looking at does talk to me about something that you're standing for, Virgo. We talked about what that means in the first part of the video, so I'm not going to go over that again. But the situation that you're standing for is that you really don't want to collaborate with somebody else. You want to manifest something totally and completely on your own, independently. And it looks like you are looking at this from a very logical perspective. And it looks to me like as you're looking at this from a very logical perspective, you're feeling like it's much more likely for you to be able to manifest whatever this is that you want if you cut out somebody else that was trying to sort of tag along on your coattails in this collaboration. Now, how the other person feels after you have this conversation, they feel like you're definitely taking action in a way that is logical, that's rational, that makes sense. And they're also feeling that by taking this action, you're actually giving yourself a gift. You know, this is really something that they see as working out well to get somebody off of your coattails as you're moving forward, that this does actually give you a gift, even though I feel like it's bad news for the other person. I don't think the other person is so thrilled to have you removing them from your coattails, because financially I think this is going to be something that doesn't do them any good, let's say. Let's put it like that. Okay, so the next thing that we're looking at here talks to me about the flex point during this particular time frame. This is where your perspective sort of changes, and this changes your trajectory moving forward. There's something going on here with your friends or your tribe where it looks like you're having to spend money that really is not in the budget because of friends or tribe. And I don't think that you're feeling so good about this situation, even though they do show up as good friends. They don't show up as backstabbers or anything like that. I just don't think that you're so happy about having to blow your budget on their behalf. And so at the same time, what do we have going on? Yeah, it looks like you're calling an end to that situation. You're sort of putting them on notice that you're not going to be doing that anymore, that you have things that you need to do with your resources, and that they are going to have to figure out how to handle their own resources for themselves. Now, as we've got that going on, I think this is actually something that is very healing for you, probably healing for your finances and your bank accounts, but also healing for you emotionally. I think that you felt like, even though these were good friends, I think you felt like you were being manipulated or used a little bit. And so this is healing to feel like, you're actually coming into your own, where you're having a backbone and you're standing up for yourself. You're not letting yourself be responsible for how well this other person or these other people do in life. They have to step up now and sort of take responsibility for that, or find somebody else who will, which is many times the case. And I don't see you going back on this decision. I think you're going to be sticking pretty firmly with that decision from the cards that I have here on the table. Now, where we see you at the end of the month, Virgos, we see you coming into a point where you're having a little bit of a hard time. You're having a little bit of a struggle. And I think part of the reason you're having a little bit of a struggle is that there's somebody in your sphere of influence that you're trying to coordinate with who is really flighty. And it's just really hard to get them to give you the information that you need, or to get together during the time that you need. So they're, whatever they have that you need to be able to move forward, or that makes it easier for you to be able to move forward, I don't think you're getting access to because of their flightiness. And I feel like, this is not making you very happy. I do think you're going to have a conversation with this person about the situation that they're putting you in right around the time that we end the month, so that, there's a chance for this person to sort of modify their behavior in a way that would be more productive, or not, and you kind of see their true colors. Either way, I see you sort of putting them on notice at the end of the month that things have to change. Okay, so that's what I've got for your month, Virgos. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the thumbs ups on this videos and for and for sharing it with others who may find it beneficial. Thank you also to those of you who are ordering private readings and private Reiki sessions with me. It is because of all of you guys' support that I'm able to do what I love to do for my living. So truly, thank you very much. And if I don't see you here for a private reading or a private Reiki session, then I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out.